Well, hello, everyone. You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a podcast brought to you by Joy's House, presented in partnership with Pardon and Associates. We're happy you're here, and you are in for a real treat today. Caregiver Crossing, if you don't know, is a podcast created just for you, the caregiver. I'm Tina McIntosh.
I'm her friend, Terri Stacy.
I love
from
when
Hancock
you say that.
County.
You are Terri Lynn Stacy from Hancock County, and you are my friend. And most people, let's be honest, know you as beloved Terri Stacy, who's been doing radio for decades and blesses us here on Caregiver Crossing as my co-host.
Well, you know what? You being from Joy's House, we've had a long friendship, and I have such great respect for what you do as people start to age and caregivers need assistance, and you are there for them, and you really were there for them before caregiving was cool, right?
Thank you. Here before caregiving was cool. We might have to use that.
I mean, it is, and it should be. I mean, that should be the thing. It'd be,
we're going to hear
it's good and cool to take care of family and friends.
Yes. And in this new year, we're going to hear a lot more about caregiving because a lot of things in our community are changing with how care is being provided for caregiving families. And actually, I joke, I mean, I hope you enjoyed today's podcast, but I say you're in for a real treat because it's Terri and me, and we want to talk about if we could design our futures as we get older, what might that look like? So Terri, I ask you, if you add 20, 30, 40 years onto your life, her eyes just got really big.
So awesome.
What would that look like for you? Like, where would you want to be? Ideally, like, where would you want to be living? Who are you living with? Like, what happens in your days?
Ideally, no matter what, there needs to be a buffet down the street. So that's my dream. But
you can never get away from the buffet.
If you do start thinking about where you want to be when you retire, let's go there. You retire because that's kind of when you're about 65. I know we're working longer in our days, but in this lifetime. But when you're younger and you think about your future, right? And if you're from here in the Midwest, you think, okay, I want to be on a beach and I want to be, that's the main thing you're thinking about is where will I be? Where I want to be here. And it's usually a warm, beachy area and a condo and, you're surrounded by people your age. But as you get older, it becomes not where you are, but it's about who you're with. I believe, at least at this stage of my life, because those dreams of living in Florida in a condo, and it's been more about making sure that I'm staying with family. I'm surrounded by family, and that means staying here, quite frankly. And that's okay. That's really okay, because it's about who you're with this last chapter of your life, if you will, in this last, in the winter of your life. And you start thinking about, it really is not about where, but it's out with who. And so for me, it's wherever my family is, and they're right here in the state of Indiana, and I want to be with them. And if that means we all are living on the same, acreage of land, and we have like a colony or whatever that may be, yes, which I think would be great, that kind of thing. I think that would be pretty awesome. And, you want great healthcare. You start to think about, I want great healthcare around me. I don't want to be so isolated like I used to want to be. And in the next, when you start thinking again, as you get older and you think, you want to be kind of out in the middle of the country and not around anybody else. And you want that kind of, you've had enough of work and you don't want to talk and be with anybody anymore. But then that next stage of your life, you start to think, no, you want to be within distance of a hospital. You want to be in distance of, and yeah, right. You do. You start to think about the medical part of it. So it's kind of
thinking about those necklaces that you wear that you push a button if you've fallen and you can't get up, which
isn't funny anymore.
No, I actually just connected with somebody over the weekend, and she told me, she might be listening to this show. She told me that she just did it. Now she's young, but she up and moved to a cabin in the middle of nowhere in Tennessee. My first reaction is that is so cool. And then I start thinking and brave and scary because, there's no one else around. And so I hear you, even at this age, I think I don't want to be completely by myself.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale, up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Limited time. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Now, I think most of us would say we want to live at home, whatever home is for us.
Yeah.
I will tell you, though, some of these assisted living places and other facilities are wicked cool. Like
They are.
it's like a college dorm for older adults. And I think that there's something really cool about that with the activities and the restaurants that are there and
You're right.
the outings and, all of that. So I'm not opposed to that. My rub would be, I definitely want to have my animals. And so, I don't think my goats will go with me at that time. Lord knows I can't keep a chicken alive to save my life, but I do want to have my animals around, and I don't know how that all plays together. And there's something I'd like to do too. I'd like to, and I don't know why I don't start doing this. I do know why I don't start doing this now. But one day I would like to start saying afternoons on a Sunday, whether it's every Sunday or whenever, but there's just kind of an open house theory or, open house philosophy at my home where we're going to have a soup on or, something, we're going to have the football game on. And if you just want to come over and hang out after church,
cool.
after you sleep in, after whatever it is you do on Sundays, that you just come over and do it with us.
Love
I
it.
don't know why. I'm just not doing it though.
Love it.
I'm
I
not
love
doing
it. I love those thoughts. And I love your thoughts about how great these senior communities have become with indoor swimming pools and bowling alleys and your hair salons and
pickleball.
pickleball. And there is so much scientific research that tells us, to fill your life socially as you age, because you live longer. And that's an important part of it, right? Is that social life.
Yeah. So, one of the things that we are launching at Joy's house in the next, it's happening now, but it's not happening yet. If that makes sense, we're starting this is end of life doula. So we're doing an end of life doula program where not only when someone has been diagnosed with some kind of a terminal diagnosis, whether it's 4 months away or it could be 4 years, but for the rest of your life. Well, let me jump to the end point, which is death. We all die. None of us want to talk about it. People are scared to acknowledge it. We're going to change that conversation. But not only how do you want to die, if you could design it, where are you? What does it smell like? What lotions on your hands? What blankets do you have? Who's in the room? Who's not in the room? Any of that. But also between the time you're diagnosed to that last day on this earth, how do you live your life? So what legacy do you want to leave? What conversations do you want to have before you take your last breath? Is your house in order? All the things. There's a lot to it. And so the one thing that comes up though, Terri, that a lot of words bubble up to the top as we're looking at this end of life doula program, but the one that rises to the top is purpose. Everybody wants purpose. And so whether it's your last day on this earth or, you could be around for another 50 years, we all want purpose. And so for you, I would ask you, this will be my final question for the day. What will you want your purpose to be if you could design it now? Knowing it can change. It could change tomorrow.
What would be my purpose? You go first.
I think it comes.
That's a hard question.
It comes back to the people. It comes back to the love and the people. And I think for me, at this point in my life, because I have the energy to say this, I can change my mind later. It is about connecting with the people that I love the most and instilling some tradition and values and moments and memories, all of that. It is also about other people that I don't have relationship with yet. So doing things like this podcast or doing speaking engagements, or for me, Joy's house, for the last 23 years, being able to not only impact their lives and bring value to their life, but also what I get in return of that too. So it's relationship. That'd be my purpose.
It's so weird, but you said every word I was going to say.
Look at that.
Every word. said every single word, even when you said it was what I was supposed to.
You know, I'm going to switch gears on you ever so slightly. Harold Bell, HB, goes, I mean, so many people in this community know him. He is doing the Senior Scoop. He is just a master of community. And I've gotten to know him well lately as Jumbo Love. I mean, just a great, great man. And he recently, Terri, did a live radio show. He's web-based, did his live radio show at Joy's house. And as I come into my office, that's where he was situated. I hear you and me doing that guided meditation we did a while back. I said, what are you doing? He said, I am sitting here loving the guided meditation. And he said the conversation between you and Terri afterward, he compared us to an SNL skit that might be the coffee chat. I can't remember, but he said we were
no,
two ladies sitting around on SNL, like riffing.
Oh my goodness. I don't know that that's a compliment. Isn't it a compliment?
And I'm reading it. Coffee Chat was a series of sketches performed by Mike Myers on SNL.
Oh my gosh. I remember them well. That's very
don't
funny.
You know?
Oh my
Don't
gosh. That's very funny.
Anyway. All right.
Okay.
Well, that's it. We're out.
So
I mean,
fun.
really, I do appreciate the conversation though, because about, kind of the future and the wishes and wants, because it reminds me where I want to go is not that far from where I am.
Exactly. And that was the whole purpose of this whole conversation. We needed to get you there.
Is that exactly what you were going to say?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Okay. Before we go, tell them, Tina, how to get in touch with you, because you're just filled with resources, and she can do guided meditation for you, or
she can just come over to Joy's house.
Right.
No, email me. Let's start with that. Email at tina@joyshouse.org.
Beautiful. And we have some people to thank because they have been our supporters for a long while. Caregiver Crossing, supported by Cardon and Associates, with 20 communities owned, operated, or managed in the Midwest, and more than 40 years of senior living experience. Cardon and Associates provides residents with the very best senior living options and personalized service. Until next time, everybody, glad you were here with us today, and we will catch you here next week on Crossing. Take good care of each other.